I just wanted to do a real quick video here about introductions. I was not super motivated to do a really long video for you with the setup and props and all that, and music and whatever else. But I wanted to talk you through this a little bit. So, guys, when you do an introduction, there are three parts to it. Okay, there's an attention-getting hook, there's background information, and then your thesis statement. The background information, sometimes we use the term bridge for that also, because it basically joins your hook and your thesis statement. Okay. You'll notice on the outline here, there are three bullet points. You don't necessarily need to use all three of them, but you might. Okay, I'll put an example up from that exemplar essay, although that one kind of stunk in that it didn't have a hook at all, and yours should have a hook. So I'm going to show you an example that I did in my video I did the other day. I made the claim that teachers, not punk rock superstars, should get paid more than professional athletes. So I did an introduction for that, okay, and I highlighted it. I'm going to put this in Schoology so that you can see it, okay. And again, there are three parts. There's the hook, there's the bridge and background. All right, if you look at what I have here, I said this connects the hook to the thesis like a bridge. It also explains the background information. In other words, it states the topic of the essay and helps the reader understand what the argument is about. You do this here because your body paragraphs are all about making your argument and proving your claim, right? Once you get into the body of your essay, you're then saying, here are my reasons and all of that. You've already told them like the topic and all of that. That's coming in the introduction, and that's what you're doing in that background place. And then finally, I end with the thesis. It is one sentence that states your claim and the reasons for your claim. If you have a thesis that's more than one sentence, you're going to lose points because I've told you 97 times to do one sentence. So I'm going to read the sample to you. You'll see the hook is pretty long. I like creative writing, and I tend to do long hooks because I have fun with them. All right, so anyway, there's the hook. The bridge here is in blue, and then the thesis is in green. So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this just in. It looks like Saucon Valley Middle School has finally announced a new selection in this year's draft. They've picked up Colleen Wetmore, who came up out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania by way of Lehigh University. She'll be taking over at the 8th grade language arts position after the surprise departure of Heppenheimer, at the end of last season. And Wetmore, who was a hot prospect in this year's draft selections, didn't come cheap to the district. Looks like Saucon is paying a premium for this top language arts performer. Wetmore penned a 6-year contract for a record $113 million for those 6 years. Saucon and Minns are hoping she can help keep the standout district at the top of the rankings. Wetmore's extensive grammar background and knowledge of differentiated instruction should help the district to maintain their position at the forefront of the division. That's all in quotes. If only this weren't fantasy, but alas, it is. This news announcement wouldn't surprise anyone if it were about a professional athlete. Star players sign multi-million-dollar contracts all the time. Meanwhile, many teachers across the country struggle to make ends meet, despite the fact that what they do is so important. Teachers should make more money than professional athletes because teachers are more influential, and higher salaries would lead to more talented individuals entering teaching. Okay. Again, I have the hook, which is this part in the kind of magenta color here, right? Grabs the reader's attention. It should be interesting, okay? The bridge in the background is this part in blue, and that basically tells the reader I'm writing about how teachers should get paid more than professional athletes. That's the topic here. And then my my thesis down here, right? It has my claim, which is teachers should make more money than professional athletes. And then I put my two reasons in. Because teachers are more influential, and second, higher salaries would lead to more talented individuals entering teaching. Okay, so intro has hook, the bridge or background, and thesis. You can see the bridge kind of joins this hook to the thesis statement. It connects them. All right. The other document that I have in here, and I have a copy of this for you, is the idea of using pathos in your hook. Okay, quick reminder, pathos is the use of emotion. All right, and when you're trying to convince somebody of something, emotion is a really important factor. Okay, this explanation up top, it tells you you should have logos, which is reasoning, and ethos, which is you can trust me, in your essay as the result of the effective research as you've done. But sometimes it's hard to get that pathos or emotion in there. And so I gave you some different examples of pathos as a hook. Okay, a lot of times you can use pathos in a really interesting way. If you're writing about cell phones in school, for example, you could tell a story of somebody who was a victim of a horrible, school shooting or something, and they were able to contact their parents and talk to them, right? That's something that pulls at people's heartstrings. So I gave you some examples here. They're on some different topics. The sadness, fear, and anger were all about the topic of drunk driving. I remember some kids in the past, one of the topics that they'd chosen was stricter drunk driving laws. So there's an example of sadness, which is about a boy who loses a parent in a drunk driving accident. There's an example of fear, which puts you, the reader, into an accident caused by a drunk driver. And anger was a husband who was angry at the system, who let a drunk driver basically get away with it multiple times and killed his wife. Okay. The last one was about changing adoption laws, and that one uses the emotion of love. Pathos can be all kinds of different things. We tend to think of it as sadness, but it can also be any emotion: fear, anger, love, happiness, joy, etc. Okay, so look over that. The hook is really the part where you can be the most creative in your essay. So do something interesting. Grab the reader's attention. Make sure it flows smoothly using the bridge and the background information, and then you already have a thesis statement. If you messed up your thesis statement before and it's 4 sentences or whatever, fix it. Okay, you don't need to go back and fix it, and the other assignments you did, but you need to fix it for your essay. All right. So that's intros. Bye.